think I look slick today. Not like, ooh, she's slick, but like, that's a good way to start a video. Hello everybody and welcome back to another video on my channel. Today I'm doing something a little bit different. I spoke in a video a while ago now about a few changes that I'm making to the channel and moving some things around, exiting out some old content, introducing some new content, and this is one of the newer ones. So today is going to be my first video, I'm pretty sure, talking about video games. Video games, gaming, it's a really big part of mine and my partner's life. It's something that I truly, really enjoy, and I wanted to bring that to the channel because I know a lot of you guys, because I know who my viewers are, because a lot of them are my friends and family. I know you guys enjoy it too, so I thought it would be something that we can relate to a lot together and that we can have open discussions about. So today, for the first ever video, I am doing recommendations for good games for couples or duos, okay? So not strictly, doesn't have to be couples, but in my experience, these are games that I have played with my husband. So definitely couples if you're a couple that games together, or just duos. Most of these can work for just like, you know, besties, brothers and sisters, whoever, your dog. If your dog can play, I'd be impressed. Okay, so I've got a couple of different categories. The first one is more cozy games, relaxed games. Maybe if you're not like super strategic gamers, it's kind of something that's a little bit more like in the background. You just want to have a good time, you want to snuggle down, not really care about a lot of things. These are the ones that are going to be for you. And I know you probably already know these or have heard of them. I would be very surprised if you're in the gaming community and you haven't heard of these games. But the first one, I'm starting off strong with one of my favorite games, if not my favorite game of all time, and that is Stardew Valley. Love it. It is so good. And I believe actually with Stardew Valley you can play with up to 4 people. So when I do a game that's more like games for groups of people, Stardew Valley is going to be on that list as well, okay? You cannot go past it. You can do anything and everything in this game. If you want to be a completionist, if you want to go, you know, the whole shazam, absolutely you can. But maybe you're a person who only wants to do mining or growing your crops and tending your animals and just minding your own heckin' business. That's totally okay too. Obviously there are quest lines to follow if you want to complete the story, but you can do it entirely at your own pace. And one of the things that I like about this game, playing it with a partner, is that you can split the tasks up. So if you're a person, especially early in the game where maybe you haven't gotten like your sprinklers or something like that set up, it can be really taxing to go through, water all your crops every single day, start tending to animals, and then try and get to the mine or try and get to go fishing, things like that, while you're also building your relationship with the townsfolk. Because let's get this straight, if you haven't played Stardew Valley, there is a lot to do in that game. It's not just a simple little farming sim. There's combat, there's like, it can be very strategic, there's a very interesting story, there's relationship building, you can get married, you can have children, there's just so much to do and it's so much fun. And I think that's why it's one of my favorite games of all time, because you can do it differently every single time you play. There's different maps, there's different setups, there's different options you can pick. You can marry a different one of the like eligible characters every single time you play, and then that makes your ending or your farm life ever so slightly different every time. And like I was saying, if you have 2 people to play this game, you can split those responsibilities up. So one can do the animals, one can do farming, one can do mining, one can do fishing, you know. That's if you wanna be strategic about it. But what like me and my husband will do quite a lot is we go together, we hang out. So not only are we hanging out in real life, sitting next to each other on the couch or in bed or wherever we're playing it at, but we're also hanging out in the game, you know. It's a double hangout. You can plan things together, tackle monsters together, and it's just the perfect game for a seasoned gamer, but also someone who is relatively new to gaming. So maybe you do have a partner who has never played games before. Stardew Valley would be the perfect place to start because it's as fast-paced or as slow-paced as you want it to be. And it's great. That's why I'm starting off so strong. For me, if I'm gonna rate them on a scale of 1 to 10, Stardew Valley's like a 25, okay? Oh, next on my cozy games, very similar but in a slightly different way, it is a game called Dinkum. Now, if you've played Stardew Valley, it is very similar to that in a lot of ways, but also different because the graphics and the art style are different. The art style is a little bit more like, what's it called? Animal Crossing. Now, I've never played Animal Crossing, but I have seen gameplay of it, so if you take that art style and give it, yes, some of the mechanics of Animal Crossing, but also smash it together with Stardew, it's like the perfect mix. It is like based off Australia and Australian life, but it's just so cute. Like, you can... Mark and I played this game so much, by the way. It's relatively new to us. We've only known about it for probably a year or two. We started playing it when he moved to Australia and we were long distance. It was our way of bonding, and it's just so much fun. It's like Stardew Valley in the way of you can do whatever you want. There's so many avenues for you to pursue, and you can do it all in your own time. There's seasons to go through and everything changes, things progress as you go through the years. You're essentially building a town. So in a way that I think might be a little bit more like Animal Crossing, correct me if I'm wrong because I haven't actually played it, but you are getting like deeds for buildings and placing them where you want them to be. You're designing your whole infrastructure from the ground up, whereas in Stardew Valley, it's all already there. You're just kind of placed in it, and then it's your job to find your place, sort of thing. And the reason that I love Dinkum so much is not because, well, not just because it's Australian based, because obviously just moved here and I thought it was really, really funny that we found a game that was, you know, just so up our alley and also like hilariously relative to where we were in the stage of our life, but it's just so cute. Like it is, you can get little dogs that are your pets, you can breed and catch your own animals, there's a mine system, but it doesn't have like random magical enemies or anything like that in it. It's got different animals, different actual animals, or, you know, slightly different, more cartoony versions. So it's still a crocodile or an alligator, but it's like a irradiated version, I think is what they call it, or something along those lines. So it doesn't go far enough to be like, oh, here's a magical creature that's gonna fit into our game. It's like, this is still an Australian-based creature. It's just like slightly cooler because we're still in a video game. Dinkum is one that I think is not as well known as it should be. I think this game deserves so much more hype than what it gets, and anybody who asks me about what I'm playing at the moment, what my favourite games are to play, what me and Mark are doing to spend time together, I almost always will say Dinkum. It's like our default game at this point. If we don't know what to play, don't know what we're feeling, it's a rainy day and we have no plans, we're both like, Dinkum? Dinkum? Dinkum. Anyway, again, scale of 1 to 10, at least an 11. Dinkum's fantastic. It is so much fun. If you haven't heard of it, go and download it right now because you will not regret it. A last one for my little like cozy games lineup. This one is a little bit harder, I think anyway. It's It Takes Two. Now again, I think this game got quite hyped when it came out, but that hype died off quite quickly. Just from like what I heard about it in my experience, I think it's a very good game. Mark and I are so close to finishing this one, but we haven't actually quite finished it at the time of me filming this video, so don't spoil the ending for me, or you're banned. The reason that I say it's a little bit harder because it is kind of bordering for me on one of those games that is becoming a little bit more technical. So it's very streamlined. It's not open world, it's not adventure. You do just follow a storyline, you do the levels as you go through. They are a lot of fun and they're very cute, and I will say it is a lot like wider or grander, I suppose is a better word, than I was expecting. Because you are like, so you're, from what I've gotten of the game so far, you're her parents that have been turned into these little dolls, and you've got to find a way to be like turned back, you know? So I'm thinking, okay, well, you're in like a house, how cool could it be? But when you do these levels and you're like among toys that are bigger than life, bigger than you, and then you're meeting like animals and creatures along the way, and there's just a whole different world evolving in your little tiny scope of what is just like your house and your garden. It is so cool and it's so well done that honestly I would play it again. I was going to say by myself, but you can't play this one by yourself. This is a duos game. It's also a little bit more technical in the fact of when you're going through these levels, each of you will have a role and you both need to be able to perform that role. So just letting you know, it is very comfy, cozy, cutesy, but at the same time you do need to have just like the littlest bit of skill to play this game. It's not hard by any means, but if you're new to gaming, just be aware that one, you know, if one of you's got a higher skill level with games than the other, you might need to be a little bit more supportive and a little bit more patient as you work your way through. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'd probably give this one a 7 at the moment. It's quite good. I've had a lot of fun playing it. The only reason I don't rate it any higher is because I haven't quite finished it, and I'm hoping the ending's going to be as good as the rest of the game, because so far it's been fantastic. Going into our more like adventure type games now, these games are harder, I would say. They're games that I think you do have to be a little bit more knowledgeable or strategic to get through. And I'm going to go straight in with A Way Out. Now this is made by the same developers as It Takes Two, and there's a third game done by these guys called Split Fiction. Now I have not played Split Fiction yet, but I've heard fantastic things about it, and it's definitely on the list. But A Way Out was really, really fun. Mark and I played this one first, actually, and we played it just before he left for Australia, and then it sat there and waited until his first visit home. And one of the things we did on his visit home was finish this game together, because it was so good that it had to stay. It just stayed, and it waited until the second he was back home with me, and then we finished it. It is a really cool game. It kind of gives me like baby Uncharted vibes, if you've played Uncharted, because you're like escaping from a prison, you're working together, there's a cool little storyline behind it. It doesn't take a whole lot of skill, but it does take a lot of working together. So if you're into that, if that's what you guys are here for, you may need to coach each other a little bit, be a little bit patient. I think there was one point where Mark and I actually ended up swapping roles because it got a little bit frustrating for a certain person. Me. This is another game made by those developers who are purposefully making games that you cannot play alone, and you don't... Can you play them online? I was gonna say you don't play them online. I'm damn sure you don't play them online. I'm pretty sure it's a game where it's like local play only. I should probably look into that. But anyway, they're very, very good games. I think anything done by these guys has been a hit so far. Obviously not anything in the grand scheme of things. Like, they're not a game of the year or anything like that in my opinion, but they're so fun. So for my scale of 1 to 10 for A Way Out, I would honestly give it an 8. I would play this game again, probably at least once more, just so that you can play it from the other perspective. And I think that's the same as with It Takes Two. Like, these aren't games that I would play a million times over. They don't have a huge amount of replayability for me, but you can guarantee that you would have fun playing them at least twice so that you get each perspective, which I don't think is a bad thing at all. Okay, next two have a special place in my heart, but they also have caused me like such grand amounts of frustration. But that's how you know they're good games, because you get so angry when you're playing them sometimes, but it doesn't stop you from coming back to them because you're like, damn it, I was enjoying myself. So next one that I want to talk about a little bit is Terraria. Now this one was, I believe Mark started playing this one by himself for a little bit, and then he was like, hey, jump in, give it a go. And at first, I'm not gonna lie, not a huge fan. I didn't like it. I couldn't get the hang of it. It was when I was just kind of getting into PC gaming a little bit, because that's what we play it on, and it's never really been a huge thing for me, but playing it with Mark made it really enjoyable. And then we got into, again, the more kind of strategic, planned out playing of the game. So yes, there's quests and exploring and stuff to do, which our favorite thing in the game is exploring, but I really like organizing like our little house and our little villages so that you put like the right people next to each other, and you make them happy by having them decorated, and you build your little walls to protect them and fight off your enemies and things like that. And that is what makes this game so fun for me. This, however, is the first game that I would say, if it were not for Mark, I would not play this game. So Terraria is specifically for me. This is a game that I play with my husband. If I'm alone, I will not play this game. It's just not it for me. It purely has the like bonding, spending time together, having a good time effect for me. I will say we haven't played this one in a while. We do kind of go through like phases of it. It feels sort of like The Sims, actually. You know how you don't touch The Sims for like 2 years but then you'll play it for a month straight and like forget to eat, sleep and drink because you're so absorbed. That's what Terraria is like for us. And it's one of those games that, again, I keep it constantly downloaded. It's on my desktop because you just never know when you're going to open it up and go, yeah, I could fuck with that actually. And then you play it for a week and then you never touch it again. But it is a lot of fun. There are some very cool weapons in the game which I like, and the bosses that you fight, some of them are easy, and then you get into hard mode. And then that's where you lose me, to be honest. Every time we activate hard mode, I start getting real shitty. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not the most skilled at games, okay? I'm here for a good time, not a long time or the best time. But it starts off easy, it does gradually get more difficult, and then the level of difficulty steps up real quick. So just be prepared for that, okay? Out of 10, I'd probably give a Terraria probably a 7. Solid 7. Okay, this is another game that we've never finished, but it is not for lack of trying. I want to put that out there right now. This is Divinity Original Sin 2. Specifically 2. Because we tried to play number 1 and it was so convoluted. Nah. Won't catch me ever playing that game again. But 2 is actually very, very good. I have a lot of fun playing this game. The first time we played it, Mark and I got all the way to the end and then realised we had fucked up a really specific quest line to the point where we could not finish the game. And I'm not gonna lie, it was real disheartening. It was very, very upsetting. We actually just fully deleted the game and went, oh my god, how stupid, I can't believe we did that, but I'm not willing to put the hours in to do it all over again. Because we had like 80 hours in that save. And that's a long time. But honestly, like a year later, I remember Mark turning to me and going, would you ever give Divinity another go? And it was like, hell yeah, I would, because it's just so fun to play. It's one of these ones where you can pick like your origin and your race and your class and then build your character your way. I am always a wizard or a sorcerer, something of the like, because I like fire, and they have fire. I love to cause a little bit of chaos. I love to just be in there and get in amongst it and fucking people up, whether it's close range or long range. So that's a really good character class to play, but I'm not going to get too much into that in this video. I just really like the replayability for this game. I think is very, very high because there are so many options. You get the same quests, don't get me wrong, but you have choices in what you do. Sometimes some of these quests have 3 or 4 different endings to them depending on what you feel like doing. And then there's also the followers that you can choose, and all of those followers have their own storyline, which again can go different ways depending on how you want to play it. So honestly, it's not like you could play this game 1 or 2 times at 80 hours a piece and get the whole story of it. Honestly, if you want to get every bit of information out of this game, I think you could easily put 1,000 hours into this. It is definitely a game that you have to be patient with, you have to pay attention, and you really need to be on the same wavelength and in agreement with each other, because if you make one decision, it is going to change the way a lot of things happen in the game. And if you and your partner who you're playing this with are not on that same page, it's not going to fare well, let me just say that. Have we actively finished this game? Not yet. But we're getting there. It's one of these games that we chip away at very, very slowly because it is very long, it is very complex, but it's a lot of fun. And it's a really nice way to bond with your partner, because I think this is the game on this list that has you actually talk to each other and think things out the most, which Mark and I really like in a game. So scale of 1 to 10, I would give Divinity Original Sin 2 a solid 8, 8.5 even. Divinity Original Sin 1, a 4. I do have 2 more that I want to talk about, kind of 2 more, that I didn't really put into any like category or anything like that. They're kind of just like my honourable mentions, because I think everybody will already know this, but the best game to play, in my opinion, one of the best games to play ever, with a partner, with friends, by yourself, is Minecraft. And I know that's basic. I know you guys are going to come on here and be like, oh my god, Minecraft, really? You couldn't think of anything better? Yes! Minecraft! I love Minecraft. Mark loves Minecraft. We have spent so much time in our life playing Minecraft. We have an active server that we come back to, and again, I think Minecraft is like The Sims. You don't touch it for a year and then you binge it for a month straight or 2 months straight, and it's just so much fun. It's one of those games where, because you can turn PvP on and off, you can just, if you get frustrated with each other, I'm just going to shoot you with an arrow until you die, and what are the consequences? Nothing, you respawn. I play with keep inventory on because I get way too angry to lose my inventory all the time. But Minecraft's great. You can do whatever you want, and you can split the chores, kind of like Stardew Valley, in the way of there's probably one of you that's more likely to be the builder versus the adventurer, or the one who will know how to craft everything and the one who wants to just learn or focus on food or skilling or something like that. Minecraft is just the biggest sandbox you can imagine, and you can mod it and add anything you want. Obviously, if you're playing on PC, there is so many things that you can put into the game. It is absolutely endless. You don't have to have a huge amount of skill. You don't have to have a lot of cooperation if you're not that kind of couple, like if you just want to be in each other's space, but not like having to actively engage 24/7 to get the game done. Minecraft's perfect for that. So, obviously, I think 99% of people will know what Minecraft is or have played it in some way. I don't need to tell you how good the game is, how accessible the game is, how much fun it is. For me, Minecraft is a solid 10 out of 10. It will always be one of my default happy games to play. And the last one is no specific game. I just love to point out the Lego games in general. Now, Mark and I personally, we have played probably almost every one available. We play a lot of Lego games. They're a lot of fun, and it's the same sort of thing as, at the moment, we're playing Lego City Undercover. Now, we have played this before. We played it probably 5 or 6 years ago, and we are completionists. So if we're doing these things, we are 100%ing them. And what actually happened was the game glitched, and our very, very last brick we weren't able to collect. So we couldn't 100% the game. We both were so upset about it that we abandoned it, sold the game. Like, I think we had it on PS4, so don't even use a PS4 anymore, but I re-brought a secondhand copy of it a few months ago because we were like, you know what, it's never really sat right with me that we were this close but didn't quite finish it, so we've started it again. And you know what, it's been so many years that I'm like, I don't remember that happening. I don't remember that. But also some like noises or catchphrases or something will come on and you're like, oh wow, this is bringing back so many memories. And there's Lego games for everything. Like, personally, my favourite ones, or some of my favourite ones, are the Harry Potter ones. There's the Jurassic Park ones are also very, very good. I really liked Pirates of the Caribbean. The superhero ones are out there and there's a lot of them. They're not my favourite, but they're good to play. And I think one of Mark's favourite was probably like the Star Wars ones. He had a very good time playing those ones. So we don't always play the Lego games together, but when we do, it's just the best time because, again, you can be together, you can be separate. At the moment, I think in Undercover we are on completely opposite sides of the map and just messing around, driving around in cars, kind of like GTA style, but PG version, because it's PG version. PC version. Because Lego is a children's game, is what I was trying to say. What I would really like to know from you guys for this video is, if you have played the Lego games or finished a Lego game, what was your favourite one? Because I know we have played so many, probably not all of them, and I would like to see if you guys could mention any that we haven't played so that I can find them, so that we can play them. Right now we're doing Undercover. I think after that I've got like Batman 3 lined up for us to do. That does ring a bell. And then personally, I am finishing the Harry Potter Lego years 5 through 8 by myself. Mark and I have played them, but I'm doing that one by myself too. So your guys' job for this video is to list down below either your favourite video game that you think Mark and I would enjoy based off of my suggestions today, or your favourite Lego game that you have played, because if I haven't played it, you can guarantee that that is ending up on my to play list. So that's it for this video. It's another one where I've just rambled your ear off about stuff that I'm really passionate about and I'm not sure that you care about, but I'm pretty sure you guys will have some good things to say down in the comments. If you'd like to, please make sure you leave me one. Leave a like for this video, and if you want to see more of this content, because more gaming content will be coming on this channel, I might even figure out a way one day to do like a tour of our Minecraft server or something like that. That might be really fun. So if you're interested in seeing that or any of my other content, because I do upload a crap ton of different things, I like to give you guys a little bit of spice. Ignore that and please subscribe. I post every Sunday at 7 AM Brisbane time and I would love to see you there. Bye.